Engagements to report on summary financial statements. Engagements to report on summary financial statements. We are not doing audit of summary financial statements separately. And you can only report. You have to just give a report. That's it. You're not supposed to do audit again. Actually, in 805 also we can discuss reports, actual practical reports, all that, but that's time is not possible. So let's discuss on this. The standard prefix introduction itself says summary financial statements on that report can be given only by the auditor who audited the financial statements. Actually, here they use the word audited financial statements. Here they use the word audited financial statements. Summary financial statements, both are different. Audited financial statements, summary financial statements, both are different. Generally, audited financial statements are nothing but complete set of financial statements in 805. In 805, the same is regarded as what? Complete set of the financials. Summary financials means what? From the complete set, a condensed version. Summary financials also will have these elements: balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, notes, statement of changes in equity, everything will be there. But all are in a condensed version. Whereas complete set of the financial statement means full set, full version. Now here, you just have to give a report on summary financials. You just have to give a report on summary financial statements. When you can give this report on summary financial statements as given under 810, only when you audited the complete set. Now the standard, instead of referring it as CSFS, they are referring it as AFS. They are referring it as audited financial statements. The auditor can report on summary financial statements only when the same person audited the audited financial statements. Audited financials means nothing but the complete set of the financial statements. Understood? Now here the main discussion is actually learning the objective. Now what is the objective here? Tell me. Here what is the objective in a summary financial statements? I need not talk about whether they're true and fair. No, I am not giving opinion on that. I just tell whether this is a fair summary of the complete set. Whether the summary financial statement, you are saying that summary, right? Is it a proper summary? Is it a proper summary, or anything important missed in this? Or anything important which is missed in this? Holding companies generally take summary financial statements from subsidiary companies. Generally, I think even holding company has to give in consolidated financials or standalone financials, I'm not sure. About material subsidiaries, their financial statements have to be presented, right? The holding company has to present material subsidiaries and associates related financial statements in the notes. Which financials? Detailed financials, huh? No. Summary financials they will present. Maybe in that context, summary financials are required. Maybe in that context, summary financials are required. Or maybe summary financials are required by the acquirer, purchasing company, in a scheme of amalgamation. Give me a brief financial statement so that I can give it to my main chairman, who cannot sit and read 200 pages financials. He wants it in 20-25 pages. That's it, enough. He can understand. He has that experience. He can understand. So you are preparing summary financial statements keeping in mind a requirement of some user. Some user requirement is there. You are preparing summary financial statement based on some user requirement. Now what auditor has to report on summary? This is the question. I just have to report whether the so-called summary financials you are saying, are they reflecting the summary from the complete set or not? Are they presenting a fair summary of the audited financials? That is only my duty. Are they called a summary? Can I call them a summary? When I can call the financials as a summary? When it is a fair summary of audited financials. Means the quality of information in summary financial statements should be clear. The quality should be high. Even if the summary financials are read, most of the decisions can be taken. In such a way, summary shall be drafted. Correct? Now, how the summary is prepared? Some criteria would have been there. Some criteria would have been there by the some standard setting organization would have given some criteria. Some NDIS would have been talking about the criteria. SEBI would have been talking about the criteria. Somewhere some criteria would have been there on summary financials. You are getting the point. Suppose in prospectus, every company shall give a summary of previous year financial statements. Summary only. You need not include full set. Summary you should give. That can be taken as a framework. Suppose if there is no such framework, summary financial statements are prepared following which criteria? Management decided that. See whether that criteria is enabling, whether that criteria is resulting in presenting summary financial statements that represents a fair summary of audited financials. We just have to check this. Suppose company said, sir, this is summary balance sheet, summary P&L. I saw this and I compared with audited. No, this is not a fair summary. This is not like, it is not like a summary of that. See, when you are preparing a summary notes, short notes, and we are preparing main material, short notes must be derived from the main material. Both should be connected so strongly that main material, if you read, you'll get a detailed clarity. Short notes you read, you will get a summary of that main concept, correct? If the summary notes is not at all matching with the main notes, can I call it as first of all a summary from that point of view? No. Exactly 810 is also asking. Company said they prepared summary financials. You check whether are they fair summary or not. If so, give a report that they are fair summary. Positive opinion. Suppose you felt that is not a fair summary. That is not a fair summary. Like summary financials are discussing some details that is not identifiable in the main financials. When I will say fair summary, I saw the summary. When I see open complete set financials, I can easily identify. Oh, this item there it is there. This item it is there here. Same way, when I say complete set, this item where it is given in summary, oh, here it is given. I can easily correlate. Then it is a fair summary. If I am unable to correlate, then that is not a fair summary. If at all, summary financial statements are not easily correlatable to the audited financial statements, then we treat it as it is not a fair summary. That's a modified opinion. That's a modified opinion. There I will give adverse opinion. I will give adverse opinion on the report. In the report that is dealing with summary financials, I will say it is not a fair summary. I will say straight away it is not a fair summary. Or other way, what I can say, if at all it's a fair summary, I will say that it is a fair summary. For this, there is in fact so much is there. I have made a diagram on it, simple diagram on it. For your information, I am showing you a summary financial statements just for your idea. Audited financial results, but here it is only a summary. The above is an extract of the detailed financial results that is filed with the stock exchange. And the detailed financials, you see, the full format of audited financial statements are available on the website. Whomever, the standard has a requirement. To whomever you are giving summary financial statements, they must have access to complete set. If such an access is not there, I will not report on the summary financials. When I can report on summary financial statements, one of the most important condition, whether the user who is going to use the summary has access to complete set or not, I will see. Is it easily accessible or not? I will see. If it is not easily accessible, complete set is not available to the users, then I will not report on summary, because based on summary alone, he may not take a best decision. Summary financials are complementary to complete set of the financials, complementary to the main financials. Then only it is permitted to use, otherwise it is not. So, just a minute, I'll just download that particular thing. Yes. This summary, this analysis is very important, because in this standard, this is where generally many confuse. What is our objective in summary financial statements? Very simple. Our objective is whether the summary financial statements represent a fair summary of audited financials. If so, give an unqualified opinion. Is the summary financial statements consistent with audited financials? Suppose the answer is you verified summary financial statements are consistent with audited financials. What opinion I should give? Suppose no, unmodified opinion is given on audited financials. Suppose unmodified opinion is given on audited financials. From that financials only summary is derived. What opinion I should give on this summary? That is a question. Since summary financial statements are consistent with audited financial statements, since they are consistent, what audited financial says, summary also says the same. I will give unmodified opinion. I will give what? Unmodified opinion. Suppose modified opinion is given on audited financials, like complete set of financials, auditor gave modified opinion. And the same financial statement summary is what? Summary is prepared. Same summary. You will give which opinion? You know, unqualified only. On the summary, you will say that they are consistent only. You will not say otherwise. They are consistent. You have to say only two things. Are they consistent? Are they not consistent? Are they consistent as per audited financials? Are they not consistent? Sir, audited financials contain a modified opinion, sir. That's okay. Qualified opinion is it? That's okay. Is it consistent or not? You tell. Yeah, I said they are consistent with main financial statements, I told. But I should also tell the people, on audited financials, auditors gave, myself, on audited financials, I gave a qualified opinion, or I have included emphasis of matter paragraph, or I have included other matter paragraph. Kindly refer to that also. I should tell this point also, right? So don't just blindly based on summary financials, don't think that everything is true and fair. What I am saying in summary financials, I am saying it is consistent with audited. That doesn't mean summary is true and fair. Understood? In summary financials, my opinion is dealing with either these two. Is it consistent or not consistent? That's it. If it is consistent, say that it is consistent. Sir, audited financial statements contain some qualified opinion, emphasis of opinion, or some emphasis of matter or other matter paragraph. What auditor has to do? Draw attention to that in the report on summary financials. Say that it is consistent. Plus, draw attention to that qualified opinion or emphasis of matter paragraph in the audit report on audited financials. Describe the same in the opinion section in audit report on summary financials. But primarily what you will tell, you know, primarily you will say that SFS is consistent. Primarily you will tell SFS is consistent. 1 minute. I will show you the direct that report, then only you will understand. See, illustration 1, sorry, not 805, I'm sorry, 810. Illustration 1, you see. An unmodified opinion is expressed on the audited financials. The auditor's report on summary is later than the date of that I will discuss later. What auditor is giving in the opinion section? In our opinion, just a minute. See, I'll erase like that. The summary financial statements derived from audited financial statements of ABC Limited for the year ended 31st March or fair summary of those financials in accordance with so and so. Simple. We are straight away saying there a fair summary. Suppose, you know, a qualified opinion is expressed on audited, and by the way, summary financials are matching with the audited financials. What auditor is giving opinion here? You see, in our opinion, the summary financial statements derived from financials of ABC company are a fair summary. Same positively only we are saying no, they are a fair summary, don't worry. However, below we are saying what are the misstatements identified, like this qualification and also are there where these qualifications are there in audited financials. For a comparison purpose, we give those qualifications in the opinion section in the summary financial statements. Clear? Now look at the magic. Suppose in the audited financials, auditor gave adverse opinion. Suppose on the audited financials, auditors gave adverse opinion. On the summary financial statement, and summary is also matching. Financial statement summary is there, na? Adverse means what? They are not true and fair. Wrong financial statements. The financial statements are containing completely wrong picture. Summary is also exactly describing the same wrong picture without any deviation. Summary is a fair summary. Now, should I say the summary financial statements derived from the audited financial statements of the ABC Company Limited are a fair summary? Can I say like this or not? Technically, you can say no problem. But standard is asking you not to give opinion in this case. Not to give opinion in this case. When the main financials are straight away not true and fair. On summary, when the main financial statements auditor has given adverse opinion or even disclaimer of opinion, don't give any opinion on the summary. Do not give any opinion on the summary financials. They may be consistent. Don't give opinion. Denial of opinion. Look at this. Suppose if the audited financial statements audit report, it contains adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion, denial of the opinion on summary financial statements, it is denied. Opinion is denied. Why? What's the logic? See, if the main financial statements are true and fair with some qualification, and summary is also prepared from the same financial statements, I will verify whether they are summary and there is a meaning to it if I give opinion. That is not true and fair. You are asking me something which is not true and fair. Is it not true and fair? Exactly like the other two which is not true and fair. You are asking me, that is actually worst. You are asking me, this is also worst. Both are matching or not, you are asking me. Tell me, is it justifiable for us to give opinion when both are worst actually? Yes or no? See, when both are good, I can say, yes, this is matching with that. When that is completely not true and fair. And from that only you derived a summary which is also not true and fair. Now you are asking they both are matching or not. How awkward it will be to give opinion here. Exactly this said. Exactly. Better don't give opinion because both are not true and fair. I know it's a fair summary. Both are not true and fair. So don't give any opinion on that. Clear? All of you. Suppose summary financials are not consistent, means audited financials are containing some picture, summary is giving it altogether different picture. Then I will give adverse opinion on summary financials. I will say that summary financials are not a fair summary of audited financials. Understood? So, first thing, after you verified the summary financials, what you concluded first? Do you concluded are they consistent or they not consistent? Suppose I concluded they are not consistent. Straight away say summary financial statements are not consistent. Adverse opinion. Suppose they are consistent. What should I do? Now you check. What the main financial statements audit report containing, you only did audited. You only audited that also. What opinion you gave? Unqualified opinion I gave there. On summary financials or a fair summary, consistent, give unqualified opinion only here also. I gave a qualified opinion. Then mention that point in the summary financial. You say that they are consistent. In addition to that, you mention what qualifications, what emphasis, what other matter paragraphs you have used. Mention that. I gave an adverse opinion. When I said that itself is not true and fair, why will I talk about summary? The main financials itself is not true and fair. I will not talk about summary itself. Suppose main financials are true and fair. I gave an unqualified opinion. You prepared a summary, but that is not matching there. Then I will say summary is not matching. Are you clear? Logically drafted this. Now I have given here point references, point number references in the opinion. Like in our book we have like reporting. This one. In the question number 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points are there, right? That only I have given here. So that one I have given here. 1 and 2, all this. You're clear here? Just a minute. That only, correct only. So that is the main, this is the main point where many confuse. This is the main point where many confuse. Another 5-10 minutes I'll conclude. Huh? Yes. So what are they saying? When auditors report on audited financials contain a qualified opinion or emphasis of matter, other matter paragraph, but auditor is satisfied that summary financials are consistent and is a fair summary of complete set. The auditor's report on summary shall also contain what? State that audit report on audited financials contain qualified opinion, emphasis, describe about the basis for qualified, describe about the emphasis of matter, describe about the other matter paragraph. Just now I showed you illustration. Suppose when the auditor's report on audited financials contains adverse or disclaimer, state that auditor report contains adverse or disclaimer, describe the basis. As a result of adverse opinion, it is not proper for me to express opinion on summary financials. It is not proper for me. That is wrong. Whether it is a fair summary or not, you are asking me. When that itself is wrong, how come you use this? That itself I am telling you not to use. Why you want to use summary again? I will not give opinion. Understood the logic? All of you. Modified opinion. When I will give modified opinion on summary, which means, remember, on summary financials, either I will give unqualified opinion if they are consistent. Even though they are consistent, I will not give opinion if at all the main financials contain adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion. Sir, is there anywhere on summary I will give an adverse opinion? Yes, only one situation. Summary is not a summary, technically speaking. You are calling it a summary, but it is not a summary of the audited financials. Then I will say it is not a fair summary. So, if the summary are not consistent in accordance with the criteria and management does not agree to make necessary changes, the auditor shall express an adverse opinion. It is not a fair summary. That is when we express adverse. No. The situation of qualified, what qualified? Summary is a fair summary except 1 or 2 places. No. See, I'm telling you, that's why either short notes can be reliable or not reliable. That's it. It cannot be partly reliable from the main material. Correct? Either only these two. Logically. Observe. So on a summary financials, first of all, remember, we don't audit summary. We just verify whether audited financials and summary financials both are matching or not. Just that this is a condensed version, that's a detailed version. Is it matching or not briefly? If it is matching, I will say it's matching. If it is not matching, I will say it's not matching. If at all any 1 or 2 significant elements, 1 or 2 elements are not matching, if I feel that is significant, I will say it is not matching straight away. I will not say everything is matching except this. Standard does not give that particular inclusion. That is not covered in the standard. You're getting the point. Because the reason why summary is prepared is in order to avoid reading the full financial statement. In such a case, summary should be either right or it should be wrong. That's it. You cannot have again exceptions within that. With that logic, that qualified opinion on the summary financial statements point is eliminated. Either unqualified opinion or adverse opinion or no opinion. That's it. If you want to give opinion, only 2 opinions. Say whether they are consistent or not, or say whether they are inconsistent. That's it. Or don't give opinion. Clear? No, it's not over. Standard is not over. Now, by the way, tell me, summary financial statement shall also be approved, right? This approval date will be for sure later than approval date of the financial statements. Now, should I consider subsequent events up to the date of approval of the summary financial statements? No. Here summary is approved just for the fact that board of directors saying that summary is a fair summary of audited. Just because approval date is something later, that doesn't mean subsequent up to that date is considered. Same way, the audit report on summary financial statements shall be when? It should be on or after the date of approval of summary financial statements, and it should be on or after the date of audit report on audited financials. Can you give an audit report on summary financials before audit report on audited financials? No. The standard specifically says you can only audit summary financials only if you have audited main financials. So can I accept this engagement? If auditor has not audited the financial statements from which summary is derived, the auditor shall not have necessary knowledge to audit a summary, therefore he will not accept the audit. Now summary means what? They reflect historical information that is derived from financial statements but contains less detail than financial statements while still providing structured representation consistent with that provided by financial statement of the entity's resources and obligations at a point in time, or I mean on a particular date or period of time, over changes then over a period of time. Though it is less detailed, it is still giving valuable information just like financial statements about economic resources and obligations at a time or changes there over a period of time. So summary financials means that. You should not accept if you have not audited the main financial statements. So before accepting, on what basis summary is prepared, you need to check out. Summary also, it must have some format, right? It must have some rules, right? What information to be ignored, what information not to be ignored. There must be some guidelines, right? That is called criteria. On what criteria summary financials are prepared? Generally, summary financials are prepared by management. Management will ensure that. Management will decide the criteria. There is no separate framework for this. You see, in SEBI, there is a framework on condensed financials. In Companies Act also, there are some sections which says that a company has to present in notes to account brief details of their subsidiaries, assets how much, equity how much, income how much. Like that, some requirement is there in Accounting Standard or Companies Act. For subsidiary related information, you must show key information of subsidiaries. Hey, you should remember this. Huh? That's what, material subsidiaries. For material subsidiaries, company has to show key information about the subsidiaries. Because summary financial statements by nature contain aggregated information. What do you mean by aggregated information? General incomplete set of financials. No, trade receivables I will show with a detailed subclassification of 10 items. That much disaggregation will not be there in summary. In summary, we will show in two elements. Aggregation will be there. Aggregated information we will show. Whereas in normal audited financials, we show information disaggregated from related party how much, from others how much, more than 6 months how much, less than 6 months how much, considered good how much, considered doubtful how much, secured how much, unsecured how much. This much detailed I will show in audited financials. In summary, why will I show that much detail? I will simply show secured or not, from related party how much, from unrelated how much. That's it. More than 6 months how much, less than 6 months. That's it. I will not talk more than 1 year, more than 2 years, more than 3 years. I will not give that much breakup. If I give that much breakup, why it is summary? It's a detailed financials, no? Clear? So what criteria they followed, that auditor has to verify. Now, whether the criteria followed is acceptable, whether the criteria followed is acceptable, it depends upon nature of the entity, purpose of the summary, for whom the summary is prepared, for what purpose. Accordingly, what criteria they followed, is it correct or not, I will check. Information needs of the users. The summary financials are going to be given to chairman, and the chairman is given certain rules. Chairman want to take a decision on so and so thing based on the summary. Whether the decision can be taken by the summary, needs of the user take into account. Whether criteria is not misleading in nature, you need to check out that criteria whether it is not misleading. Sometimes criteria for presentation of summary may be established by a recognized standard. Maybe NFRA would have given summary financial statements format. In such a case, no, auditor may presume that that criteria is acceptable. If a lawmaker has given the criteria, you blindly say that it is acceptable. Suppose if auditor concludes that the criteria based upon which summary financials are prepared is not acceptable, don't accept that engagement. Don't accept that engagement to report on summary financial statements. Suppose, unless mandatory by law, unless it is mandatory. Suppose even though criteria is not valid, but you have to give a report on summary. You can give. See, why? Because there's a requirement in law. You have to compulsorily accept that. Because you are the auditor of main financials, you should only give summary financials. Sir, summary financials, the framework is not acceptable. The criteria is not acceptable. It's okay. No, you have to give. Okay, I'll give. In such a case, I will not use the standard wordings given under 810. I will not say I complied with standards on auditing, because standards on auditing permit me to use fair summary, all that, but only if it is matching, only when SC 810 requirements are matching. So that is what these 2 points. The auditor shall Accordingly, the audit report shall not indicate that engagement was conducted in accordance with this standard. Why? Framework itself is not acceptable. Still you are doing because there is a compulsion in the law. At that time, standard and audit item will not interfere there. Because you are doing as per the law. Whatever lawmakers says, follow that. Don't follow the standard. Don't say about standard. Clear? Next. Obviously, summary financial statements must contain a proper heading. Summary financial statements, clearly identifiable heading. Now, how to do audit, how to report? First, obtain understanding of management's responsibility. Management is responsible for preparing the summary financial statements that represent a fair summary of the audited financials. Management is responsible to provide all the information to the auditor, all that. This is an easy point, not a big deal. So, what auditor will perform? Write about procedures to be performed. This itself can be asked as a 4 marks question. This itself can be asked as a 4 marks question. By the way, in the previously also, write about acceptability of criteria or unacceptability of the criteria. They may be asking about 3 or 4 marks question. This point. This one, 2A. This can be asked as a 4 marks question. Write about acceptability of the applied criteria for summary financial statements. What points auditor has to keep in mind? They may ask you this as a question directly. What are the procedures? Means you decided acceptable criteria. Now you are starting the verification of summary. What you will verify? You will verify disclosures about audited financials, whether they are disclosing the summarized nature. And if at all summary financials are not accompanied with audited financials, generally summary financials to whomever we are giving, audited financials also should be given access. See presentation and disclosure criteria whether they are applied correctly. Compare with AFS. Get necessary information if at all available, and see that AFS is available to users. See that audited financials are available easily to users. Correct? Now, what is the form of opinion? This is not required. Anyhow, we have seen in the standard that is not required. Elements. Elements also not required. Introductory para. Identify the summary financials on which auditor is reporting, including title. When auditor is aware that summary will be included in document that contain other information, the auditor may consider identify the page numbers of the summary financials. Suppose if the summary financials are given as a part of some consolidated report, in that report some other information is also there, then auditor specifically tells in the audit report, only this portion I am auditing, only this portion I am dealing with, only this portion is dealing by this report. Auditor's report on audited. Refer compulsorily to your report on audited financials, date of that report, and the fact that unmodified opinion is given. Suppose if you gave a modified opinion, mention that what opinion you gave, what reasons you gave, why qualified opinion, why emphasis given, the reasons also you mention. Date. The date of audit report on summary is generally later than the date of audit report on the audited. You must state that summary financial statements do not reflect effect of events occurred subsequent to the date of auditor's report till the date of audit report on summary. People may think, are audited dated summary financial so and so date. No, up to that date subsequent events were there. They might think, no. Look, my audit report date original that one, only up to that date I consider. After that date to the date of audit report on summary financials, no events are considered. Because this is a summary of audited financials. This is not a separate financials which I am preparing. There's a summary of that financials. Clear? And we should clearly tell the users in the audit report that reading summary financial statement is not a substitute for audited. It is always advisable to read a complete set of the financial statements before taking any qualitative decision. And various other. This is regarding the date of audit report I already covered. And this point I already covered just now. What about other information? Suppose summary financial statements are published along with other information. Just like we have seen 720, same reporting here also. See whether other information is conflicting with summary financials. If they are conflicting, where the misstatement is there. Same 720 procedure. Exactly copy pasted, not that in depth. How auditor has to respond? If entity has not included audit report on summary financials in a document containing such a summary financials, or auditor has not audited summary. What is this? Very simple. Suppose company prepared summary financials, but they didn't ask you to report on that. But the summary financial statements are presented along with audited financial statements and report on that, where it appears to the public that you gave a report even on audited financials when in fact not so. Auditor has to request management, please clearly differentiate. Don't give an impression that I have audited summary financials. Suppose that is one analysis. Another analysis, I have verified the summary financials and I gave a report on that under 810. But you know, my report is not attached. Only the summary financials are being presented along with other financial statements, complete set. Whereas that audit report which contains true and fair opinion, all that is clearly given. But summary financials only that is presented, my audit report is not included. I must request and I must convince the entity to include my audit report also. If at all they are not including, take action as per 560. If at all company is not cooperating you, where your audit report is not included in the summary, you have to take an appropriate action. What appropriate action you have to take? Maybe you have to contact the advisory board, audit advisory board regarding this. That's it. The standard is over. The entire standard 810 is over. Yeah. With this understanding, you read now 810, 805, 800, you will see a remarkable difference in your understanding. Always holistic view of the standard if you don't have. Remembering inside contents is impossible, next to impossible. It is not at all possible to remember. That is the reason why there are so many years the subject is ruined like this. Getting it? So you can understand. Remembrance is a byproduct. Understand the whole context, read each and individually. Yesterday I told already, previous class I told, like read, analyze, summarize, revise, then remembrance will automatically come. Getting it? First read to identify what is there, then analyze, then summarize what you read simply, then revise once detailedly. Naturally you remember. By second time you do this process, you remember. Getting it? So we'll take a break and get back.